Welcome to the Freelance Thrive. Here we talk with skilled freelancers about their professional journey. Stay tuned for real-life experiences to learn and actionable steps to take to improve your freelancing career. My name is Yuri. I'm a community builder at Code Control and 9am.works, and my guest is Slobodan Gajić, a senior front web developer and co-founder of a web design studio and tech YouTuber who is helping those seeking to master JavaScript by creating educational content, Code with Sloba, and providing tons of tips, tricks, and tutorials. So, welcome, Slobodan.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here with you, Yuri.
As I told you off the record, the first day I joined the community, I noticed you already. And tell me,
thank you.
Why did you decide to start being active on social media?
Yes, actually, the time when I started is like the time when most of the people started, and it was like the beginning of like COVID, pandemic. So we had like so much time being at home, and for me, like the number one reason was I wanted to always be up to date with the latest technologies. And the thing is, when you want to create a content, and you need to research all the time. You're always looking for like the new stuff, what is the latest, what is the hottest. And also like, this is the best way to learn. Like for myself, like in the past couple of years, I learned a ton. So I so much improved myself. It's not just a phrase, but really, if you want to learn something, try to teach somebody. Yeah. Because like, especially when you build a community, people always ask you sub questions. And if you don't learn it properly, you're gonna, expose your holes. So I learned a lot by just covering the topics that I don't use on daily basis on my work. And I also seek always for the new updated stuff. And that was like the initial step why I wanted to create a content in the first place.
How did it work for you? So you find something new, then you resync and then post, or what was your way?
No, I mean, I was just like, the first thing is you just got the idea when you're working about something and you want to find out a little bit more about it. And you find about something very interesting, like an interesting feature. Hey, I would just want to share this with people. And that's how it started. I wasn't just posting every single day. It was just like a random thing. Hey, I found something useful. Let's post this to the community,
Yeah. So you have more than 1,000 followers on Instagram, 84,000 on LinkedIn, 13,000 on YouTube, and thousands of views of videos. So how did you choose with which platform to start? Basically, yes. What social media was first and why?
Yeah, the first social media was LinkedIn, actually. And I started with the LinkedIn because I thought that this is the social media that has the biggest reach at the time. It was already dead. I mean, the golden age of LinkedIn was like, I think in 2017. And you may see these accounts that have like 1 million followers. And back at the time, you had to like add bunch of connections every single day, but the reach dropped down. Anyways, I wanted to jump on it. And that was the first social media. And actually, I found out that it wasn't the best social media in regards to the reach, because Instagram has much bigger reach. Because the last year, I started actively using Instagram from like April, I think, and I reached 100,000 in less than a year. So the reach is biggest for me, at least, on Instagram. And along with the LinkedIn, I started the YouTube, and I knew that YouTube is the hardest one to gain. But at the same time, I wasn't the most consistent on YouTube. So I created like the first video 3 years ago, but for the last year, I had like periods of like 4 or 5 months where I wasn't creating that much of our content. So that's why I think that I didn't make so much impact on YouTube.
And you told about being constant and posting constantly. So how it helps being constant?
It helps because, I mean, this thing takes time. So if you're not consistent, you're not going to see like overnight success. So you just need to, if you start creating content and you want to have like a impact in people's life, then it's something that you're going to do for years. And you cannot expect this to be like a couple of months thing. And so that's why consistency is the key, because most of the people actually who become successful in the social media, they make that as their profession. And it's something that if you want to do for real, you need to do this for years. And that's like consistency. It's not like I'm just going to do this like for a couple of months. That's why I say consistency is the key. You know?
And would you like to make it your profession?
I mean, who knows? I enjoy it at the moment, and probably I made a mistake because I haven't monetized it anything because I make enough money on my daily job, and I was just looking for content sharing as something that I will educate myself and also present myself maybe as somebody who's a professional in what he does and get my jobs much easier in the future. That was
Yeah.
my goal in the beginning. But actually, it turns out that people, especially who are smart and who have plan, make this social media monetize, and they actually start earning much more from their regular jobs, and they make it profession. It's not the
Yeah.
case for me, actually.
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah.
Did
No.
you take any courses on building a brand on social media?
Well, no, I didn't take any courses, but I'd say I took like a ton of research. So, when you're very passionate about, for example, LinkedIn, I wanted to make a huge impact on LinkedIn because like I consider that as like the most professional network. On Instagram, you have much more users, but on LinkedIn, when you make strong connections, there are very serious people like CEOs of the companies, and if you connect with them, you can make huge deals. So I made a bunch of like researches on how to how to structure the post, what works on LinkedIn, what not to do, like to put like the outreach links in the post, stuff like that. So I didn't have any like of the courses, but I took so much time uh, to to research and also to test on my end what works and what doesn't. You know.
Did it work the same way you discovered it, or did you tweak it somehow?
Uh, I found that most of the stuff like that are on the web are mostly outdated. So like the articles, especially for LinkedIn, are like a couple of years old, and this algorithm is changing all the time. And even like a month ago, I noticed that the LinkedIn changed so much its algorithm that certain stuff doesn't work anymore. So you need always, like I said, consistency, always be up to date, seeing what works now, what doesn't. And but for me, like the strongest thing for the social media is the content. So that's what drives the algorithm at the end. Yeah.
So when you started, what was your action plan?
To be honest, I had no plan. So when you're starting, like your first post get like 0 views, 0 likes. So you have no plan. You're not expecting anything. And actually I was embarrassed. Like if somebody sees my code and tells this is rubbish or it doesn't work or this is a stupid idea, something like that, you start like shyly, first post here and there. But I just tried to improve the content that I'm creating, and also I saw the other people who are creating content, so I was looking up for them and tried to create something useful for people, and that was my plan. Just improve the content. I had no plan about the structure, and still I'm a little bit maybe disorganized. Maybe some organization would be like beneficial for me, what topics I should cover on the monthly basis, but yeah, I didn't have any plan, to be honest. Yeah.
And you told when you start, you receive like 0 views, 0 likes, all the stuff.
Yes.
And have you ever thought about giving up creating content?
Sorry, how do you mean?
Like, okay, I have like small reach and maybe not many likes, not many reposts as you thought about, and like maybe I should stop.
Oh, you mean to quit? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I thought number of times, and but I don't know. I saw so many benefits along the way with creating content, so it always got me back to that. If I were not to create content, I wouldn't be here. And I'm not saying that I like achieved who knows what, but like the current position that I'm at, the content creation helped me to get this job. So the people who I'm working with saw my YouTube videos, saw that expertise I'm good at, and I didn't have to go to the like technical interview. So I'm always reminding myself, check what you got with this content creation. If you haven't done that, you wouldn't be like in this position. So that's always what kept me driving, forward.
Yeah, it's kind of the best resume you can only imagine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, and if you were starting now, what is one thing you would definitely keep doing, and what is one thing you wouldn't do?
Yeah. I would start with YouTube probably faster, and not faster, but uploading more content. right? So because I wasn't uploading enough content, so to make, because I think that YouTube is the strongest one. If you want to monetize and they have the highest reach, the YouTube is the best for that. So I would probably start more with better content on YouTube. And apart from that, yeah, I think I would have more structure, and also like to try to create my own like brand. That was something that I was struggling at the beginning, especially because one week I had like one style, like the other week I had different style, and then I had one logo, then I had second logo, all this stuff. And like my content was so different on different social media. So like you're not like one brand, you're like not one person. So I think that even now maybe there are a little bit differences in the social media, and the reason for that is because I haven't been monetizing my social media, and I'm creating all the content. So imagine if I had a team around me, there would be people like a designer who is in charge for all of this, and it would be even more professional. But when you're just one person, and especially I'm not the designer, I'm just I'm a programmer. So that's a challenge, right?
Have you ever thought about getting a team or maybe a partner in crime to work with?
Yeah, I mean, I started thinking about that like recently. So ideally, I would create like a team around myself, to help me to create more content, to bring the quality of the content to much higher level, to create better tutorials, to create courses, to create much better project for people, to create some content on daily tips on this other social media that are super high valuable, so that overall quality is better. And for me, it doesn't take like so much time to create, and at the same time to free up some of my space, and my time.
Yeah. So if you are a YouTube designer or somebody who works with YouTube, you know who to reach out to. You never know, maybe you'll get a great combination of your work.
Yeah.
And how is your social media weekly routine looks now?
Yes. So what I usually do, especially on YouTube, I started uploading much more frequently. So I usually come up with a plan what I'm going to shoot for the entire week. And I usually do that like on Saturday because I don't work that day. And I record everything on Sunday, and I try to edit the videos, at least the short ones, like for the reels on the Instagram. And also I use the buffer to schedule the social media. And then I try to schedule for the entire week. And then for like these daily tips, I always wake up early, like 5 or 6 a.m., and I spend like an hour or two, depending on what do I need to do that day. And then I create like a tip that I want to share. But previously, usually I do on monthly basis. I use Notion to keep track of all the topics that I want to use. And then like on a monthly basis, for every single day, I create a topic that I want to cover that day. And then when it's like first or second of that month, I just go to the Notion. I see what's the topic. I create a tip around it in the morning, and I just, publish it or schedule in the buffer to be published later that day. That's what I do pretty much. And then in most cases, like at the end of the day, I try to go over the comments, the shares, and try to thank the people. I mean, it's taking so much time, and I'm not able to answer all of the people, especially if the links, if the post goes like very crazy. Like I had some of them like hitting like 50,000 likes on Instagram, and that was crazy. I mean, you cannot answer like not even a fraction of the comments, but unfortunately, they are not so common. So yeah.
And why it is so important for you to answer to comments?
For me, I mean, there's one thing. First, you bring more attraction to your post, and it strikes the algorithm. That's the first thing. The second thing is these people took time, to comment on my posts. So I think it's polite to answer what they're, ask, or they just encourage you. Hey, this is a great post. I learned a lot. So I feel like obligated to answer to their comment. I think it's nice from the content creator. The problem is that you don't have time always to do so.
Yeah. Did you ever have some great things coming out of comments? That you start conversation and then it's like worse.
Absolutely. I mean, so many times I had I create some topic, and like I said, not most of the time, but sometime I don't know a lot about the topic that I'm creating content about, and I'm actually researching and I create content. And then people who are, because I have so big network right now, there's so many people who are very professional, right? And it happens that they use that technology right in depth, so they know it even better than I do, right? Obviously. And in most cases, like when a person like that comments on my post, I learn much more from the comment than the initial research. So that's like the most valuable thing that can happen when somebody gives you and opens your eye in the comments. So that's that interaction, especially as a remote developer, this interaction with other developers and just looking at the same problems, it's something that it's the best, right?
Yeah, it's just amazing how you can learn from creating a content.
Yes, totally.
Slobodan, I wish to have the sky as the limit, but time is the limit. So the final question, what is your favorite food?
What's my favorite food? Probably steak. Yeah, I like meat a lot, so probably the steak is my favorite food. Yeah.
Got it. Thank you
Simple.
so much for sharing your experience, and it's been such a pleasure to hear and learn from you.
Likewise. Thank you for inviting me. Yeah, it's a pleasure. Yeah.
And thank you so much for listening. If you like the show, hit the like button or 5 stars and share it with your friends. That's it. We're done. See you in the next episode.